financial planning institution and your financial planner. Welcome, Reed.
Good to be back, Paul and Tina. Thank you.
Thanks.
And we also have our good friend Jamie Nummer with Van Dyke Mortgage in, because mortgage matters make a difference in your financial well-being. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks for having me again.
And Reed, I want to start here with this discussion about our riches, our money. When we use the acronym on the air a lot, riches, R stands for retirement planning, I for investment, C for cash flow issues, H for have adequate insurance. And boy, was that an interesting discussion in the last couple of weeks with this flood.
Yeah.
You know it.
E stands for estate planning, and S, strategies for taxes. And I'd love to talk to you, a financial guy, about each of these matters here today and help the American dreamer think about how am I going to get from survive to thrive so that I can make an impact, because the world needs me. And so let's start at the top, retirement issues.
Right. So, and Paul, you hit the nail on the head, because it really is going from survive to thrive. And how do we do that? I have a saying, it's not mine, but if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. And it really comes in the planning process, and that's where retirement planning is key. It's essential. I was on there a couple weeks ago talking about Social Security, and this is where retirement planning gets in there. It will be there, but it's not going to pay and provide for all of your needs. So you've got to do it yourself. You've got to take the what you have and make it work for as long and as good as you can.
Well,
and that's
you know,
the key.
that really is, because we say it all the time. You can own your dream if you will own your dream. And by that I simply mean you need to take personal responsibility for your dream, this American dream. And if you will take personal responsibility, you can achieve it. I mean, so much of the time, Reed, I think we feel so disempowered. You know, big business, big government, even big media makes us feel small. But doggone it, dreamer, you do have power. You can get there from here if you have the right plan and work the plan over time. So let's talk about retirement planning. What sorts of things do people need to be thinking about?
So when you look at retirement planning, Paul, you really need to have a good grasp of what's going on with your assets, with your liabilities, with your investments, with your taxes, that whole big picture. You've got to make sure that you start young.
Yeah.
That's the key. You mentioned you want to own it. The only way that we can own it is if we start the process. And starting that process early makes a big difference, because you are right. We do feel disempowered. But I think that's just an illusion. When you empower yourself, especially in retirement planning, you get to the point where you say, I can do this. And maybe you start out when you're really young and you're putting $50 a month. Eventually, you'll be able to do 100, and then 200, and then 500. And it's a snowball that kind of rolls down that hill, but we've got to do it early. That's the big key.
Yeah, you know, that's so true. Time is on your side. What's that, the old song, right? Time is on your side. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
You really do have a power there of compound interest over time, but starting early matters. And I like what you said, even if you're just starting with $50 a month. I mean, think about how many, vending machine trips or Starbucks drive-through or whatever it is, where you're just dropping a little bit of money on every day.
But not just starting with $50 a month. Talk to somebody who knows what they're doing, because, you can say, okay, I'll stick $50 a month in the bank, and that's good. You should do that. But I'm sure there's a lot of other things that are just as good or better for a long-term plan, instead of just trying to figure it out yourself. Go to an expert.
Yeah, Tina, and that's key too. As you mentioned, you've got to know where to put it. So today, companies have 401ks. Start the 401k immediately when you start your job.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you can, put into a Roth IRA. Start to do some of these things, Tina, that it's not just going to be put in and earn maybe zero interest or 0.001%. You're going to actually gain some money, so that your money in retirement, while it's waiting for you, is working hard. You work hard for your money. Let your money work hard for you.
Oh, that's what I like. You can work for your money, or your money can work for you. You talk about getting started and getting that interest-bearing opportunity. The mighty Mississippi has headwaters somewhere. Somewhere some snow-capped hill started melting, right?
Right.
And, eventually, as you keep the process going, this stream feeds and that stream feeds, pretty soon you've got a mighty Mississippi flowing, and that can get you somewhere you want to be. And so it matters that you get started young, you do the right things over time. An expert like Reed Byerline at Raymond James is just the sort of person you need to talk to. You can give us a call off air anytime. We'd be glad to put you in touch with some of Michigan's finest professionals. 248-545 4700. That's 248-545-4700. Retirement planning matters. You mentioned a couple things like a work sponsored thing. Oftentimes employers will